Hello guys, it's your boy Big Stan. Welcome to my channel. And I'm in the studio tonight with Deborah.
Hi guys.
Yeah, she has a lot of questions for me, regarding the album that just dropped. So Deborah, over to you.
All right, so thank you, Big Stan, for having me
You're
here.
welcome.
I really appreciate the opportunity, and I must say the album Champion Sound is really a champion sound because they're all lit. And I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
Some questions because I'm curious. Okay, I'm gonna go straight to my first question.
Let's go.
Which is I want to ask. So I really want to know what's the secret sauce behind this album.
You mean the inspiration?
Yeah.
Oh, there are a lot of inspirations to the album, but
Okay.
I would touch one or two because of time. Yeah, I'll go straight to the point, which is a lot of things inspired me, experience, people, even my environment, understanding the situation of the country is very hard. And so I actually focused on creating songs that can shift your mood from a very negative or boring mood to a much more lively and energetic mood where you can dance and feel alive, because in order for us to approach our day-to-day choices, we need that positive mindset. In order to have a positive mindset, you need a good music, good rhythm. So I decided to create these amazing tracks for my fans and my fellow citizens.
Okay, so just to be clear, how many songs are in the album?
8 songs.
So you mentioned, you said something about the country situation.
Yeah.
And looking at the country situation, the economy is not smiling at everyone.
Right.
Did you face financial stress? I mean, did money affect your creative process?
Yeah, well, I think you already know the answer to that, but I'll just elaborate a little further.
Okay.
Being an up and coming artist like myself, I've come into a lot of challenges, and I actually, I got into some depth in the process of creating this album, and it was very important that I do whatever was necessary for me to put it out because it was something that I know would help my listeners and my fellow citizens, even my family. So the body of work was challenging in a personal standpoint and in a financial standpoint. So in the financial standpoint, I had some support from Couture and friends and family, and but more importantly, the relationship that I maintained in the process of creating this project actually supported me, because I was able to work with people who had vision, who understood that it's going to take quite some time before we finally get to see the benefits of what we're creating. So that actually helped me. And it's not easy to find people who are like-minded, most especially in this music space. So I would say I'm blessed with the kind of relationship I have, the kind of friends and contacts that I have all over my platform. And I want to encourage people, listeners, and those who are, wherever you are, always maintain good relationship. Good relationship actually helps your talent, it helps your craft, and make sure you sacrifice because sacrifice makes relationship better, makes it stronger. And it's not easy because everyone has something to do. They have what they have going on with them. But then if they choose to support you, don't take it lightly.
Yeah,
So,
all right.
relationship.
That's awesome. From what you just said, I could, really tell that you faced some challenges. After all this, you still became a champion and you released the champion sound.
You know what time it is.
Okay, so I'm gonna go straight to my next question. So the next question I have for you, Big Stan, is how has your perception, improved your position? I mean, where you are today.
Okay, well, I would say, first of all, if we take this interview, for example, and people start watching, they're going to see it from a different angle.
Yeah.
And that's how we'll see life. And I would say my perception has actually, it's not a constant thing. You learn as you go, basically. So at the point of creating, I did not create the whole song in one day, obviously. But at some point, I had to see myself already doing that which I'm trying to do. I had to, first of all, overcome the situation in my mind That way I can project a good song that can deliver other people from that state. When you go through hardship, you face challenge, things that test your faith, things
Yes.
that test the kind of discipline that you have. So having a song that can actually lift you or support you to go through that moment or that phase or that situation was what I was after. So that I had to do for myself first before I can, do it for others. So
Oh.
yeah, it was very important that I keep the right mindset and a very positive one at that, because it was challenging.
Okay, so that's lit. So I also want to quickly ask you, how has your environment, how has your environment affected your creative process? How has your environment challenged you to step up your creativity?
Okay, well, that happened on various occasions. First of all, I had to learn with everything that happens around my environment, which is
Mm.
not easy because
It
we're
is
human
not.
beings
Yes,
and
we
we
are.
have emotion. And sometimes your emotion pulls you towards a direction that you don't like. But then it's now left for you to either learn from it or, make excuses. So I decided to learn from things that I was encountering.
So,
And
are you saying that you literally learn from everything the environment throws at you?
exactly, I mean, sometimes you're not in tune with yourself, so you kind of like lash out within yourself.
Okay.
But in most cases, maintaining the right mindset simply means learning from every encounter. So yeah, whatever comes as a challenge, even if it's in a financial standpoint, emotional, family, or in the creative, you know process of my career, I had to see the positive side of it. I had to learn from it so I can move past it. Because if I keep dwelling on those emotions, they're not going to help me. It's just going to slow me down, and I didn't want that. So I had to learn. I had to learn from everything that I could, grasp from every encounter that I had with people, with myself, with things. I had to come to a conclusion that I would first of all be a good example to what I'm trying to create. So,
Okay.
you know, uh, I saw every challenge as a learning process. So that actually shaped the album to become what it is today.
Okay. All right. So, Big Stan, earlier on, I asked you how money, affected your, creative process,
Right.
judging by the current situation of the country.
Right.
So, your answer, speaks that they were collaborative work,
Yeah.
and that kind of, shall I say, eased um, financial stress,
It did.
right?
It did in a
Okay,
lot of
so I
process.
also I still want to ask, like, how do you dodge financial stress? While releasing a hit, while dropping a hit.
I don't think there's no dodging financial stress, but there is ignoring. You can't dodge it, but you can ignore it. It's like it's there, but you don't allow it to interfere with what you're trying to do. And in
Okay.
order to do that, you have to first of all see that there's no having it. You can never have enough money. You
Hmm.
understand? And you can always have a point where you don't have much. There's always that point, right? So I had to come with that understanding that, okay, fine, I might need this money, but at this moment, I'll have to be here and create, do what I'm supposed to do, regardless of what the financial, you know, status is saying at this point. So I had to just ignore. Ignoring it is not easy. It requires you to, see it as something temporary. Financial challenges are temporary stuff. They're not permanent. So I
Wow.
had to see it that way, and then I'm like, okay, moving on, and I just
Okay, so
kept on
Big
doing what I
Stan,
was doing.
this is real big. So I want to know, will you keep aligning money with purpose? I mean, will you keep chasing purpose or paydays? I mean, bag, the money.
No, that's a good question. Well, considering the world we're in today, money is very important. Like I said, it's
Mm,
necessary. You need money to move certain things and certain people. But I would say the the goal for every person who has been able to achieve a good financial standpoint is to actually make impact. Maybe some will do it, some won't. But the
okay.
point is, uh, if you chase money, what are you going to do when you have it? And I don't think you'll be able to actually make any good use of money if there's no purpose to it. The purpose comes first. The vision, the purpose of why you're here, what are you doing, why are you doing it, your intention. Those things comes before the money. In as much as money is important, the purpose of why you're doing what you're doing, it's way more important, because that is going to impact people in various ways that you cannot even imagine. So I was more focused on delivering a good service, because if you do that across any business, if you give a good service, like for example my hairstyle, right? So this is good.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you. This is a good service, so you definitely want to pay for it, because it's something you can talk about,
appreciate when the style is lit.
There you go. So it's more about your purpose. When you have your purpose in place, then money becomes something you attract
Oh,
with the
okay.
service you give.
Yeah. All right. Say, you said something about impact, and that made me think that Big Stan looks like someone on a mission with a vision. I want to know, what's Big Stan's mission for Nigerian youths via music? Because you talked about impact.
Right. So yeah, when you talk about mission, I have a lot of interest that I'm trying to pursue that would benefit, my fellow Nigerians and those in the creative space as well. And I would say, first of all, as of right now, I would just want to deliver good music that can help them, transform their present moment into a much better, and much better productive, moments. And because life is moments, moments from one moment to another. So I first of all created this body of work to help them go through the hard times and hard days. Give them reading to elevate their mind and keep them focused. The spirit, to give them the right mindset to go through and make the right choices. So that's, as of right now, it's my goal. And across time, with every single song that I drop, I would definitely address every part that would help and support the youth to properly embrace the reality of their life and to help them make the most out of it. Because at the end of the day, it's all about gathering the minerals that is within the obstacles that we face to, build something of great impact. So yeah, as of now, it's good music from Big Stan. Expect good music, great music, vibes, dance, all kinds of music. I do all kinds of music. So expect all kinds of music from me in the near future. Yeah.
The relationship survive when music is your mistress. Big Stan.
Yeah, like I said, it's a jealous art. It's an art that requires all of your attention, at least almost all of your attention. We're talking about 95% at this point.
So you're saying that you're gonna give your musical career 95% of your time?
Well, it's one thing to wish for something, it's another thing to try to do it. I'm working towards giving it my best. It doesn't have to be, my best could be 90, could be good enough, or maybe 95 or maybe 100. But
so I'm going to, you have family, right?
Yeah.
And I believe you would want to have a partner in the future.
Well,
so how are you going to share the 10% between your family, friends, your partner?
That's a good one. But what I can say is this. Of course, I can have a relationship while doing music, but it will have to be with somebody that understands what music is.
Okay.
And when I mean understand, I mean not just enjoying the vibe of good music. You have to understand that those who create music are undergoing
process,
a certain kind of process that is not usual. You don't see it around. It's not a regular thing. Understand? It requires a certain kind of, some people would call it sacrifice, some would say ritual, some would say practice. However, we go through a series of changes while we create. So it is this challenge that some girls cannot deal with. So a person who can understand the journey of a creative, of course, it'll work if there's compatibility, and of course, good time. I enjoy. I like fun time.
Okay.
Of course, it can survive, but with a little bit of understanding.
A little. With what you just say, a little.
No, not a little understanding, but understanding. Understanding of me and what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, all
someone that
right.
can do it with you. Someone that can do it with you.
So, yo, I want to know too. So, what's the wildest lesson music has taught you? Do you have any?
The why it's more than one, but I'll just say a few of them. So one of the widest lessons would be you are all by yourself,
Mm.
and the other one is you're here for a reason, and the other one is you were given this talent for a reason, and the other one is you're likely going to suffer a long period of time before you're able to make the most out of your talent.
So you just said you're likely gonna suffer for a long period of time. Do you think Big Stan will be able to survive? Like,
I'm already surviving it. I've been in this process for since I was, and last I can remember, 14 years old. I've been writing music. I've been trying to understand my musical prowess and understand why music has chosen me to deliver some of these amazing frequency to you guys. But the thing is, like I said, it's a process, and the more you enjoy it, the better you get. And to enjoy it, you have to sacrifice some of the old version of you so you can embrace what is yet to come. So it's a very complicated process. It's not something you can explain with one interview. So I'll likely have you here again for another interview so we can
okay,
talk more
that
on the
would be amazing.
sacrifice that we go through to deliver good music to the
Yeah, I would
masses.
be anticipating.
Of course. So yeah.
Okay, so I want to know Big Stan.
Yeah.
Big Stan. So I want to know, did you have a special figure, you know, while creating this album? A special figure that played a notable role, that you can never forget while creating this album.
Okay, well, as a creative I look up to a lot of other creatives that are, way ahead in
Okay.
the creative space. But every artist that has ever done something of great impact in the music industry as Nigeria is concerned have been a great part of my development as an artist. They give me the footprint to follow in terms of reading, in terms of messaging, in terms of uh, soul music. I'm talking Burna Boy, Whiskey, Davido. You know them. Two Face. Uh, the list can go
Eh,
on and on. But the truth is, with every artist I listen to, I was able to pick something that helped me,
I inspired you. So
inspired
now
me.
I want to know
Right.
within you, within your circle, is there a special figure, that played a role, to support, if not inspiring, to support your creative process while dropping this album?
Yes, I would say my brothers were really active. They supported me even when I didn't know I need that much support. They gave it to me. There were times where we were recording, there was no light, and then we had to use torchlight
Whoa.
and use the JBS speaker. It was funny, but it was interesting because you can still record without light. That's true. So yeah, they actually showed up for me in terms of helping me do things so I can focus more on making music, financially and otherwise.
I'm
So
gonna
yeah.
go straight to my last question for you. So, Big Star, I want to know which song in the album, because I believe every artist, will always have a song in any album they're dropping that would take a little bit more effort,
Right,
resources.
right.
So I want to know, do you have any song that was the hardest in making?
Well, to answer that, I would say yes. Yes, because there were times where I needed to prepare the right environment for the music to take place. So there was no light. Like I had to feel a lot of extra stuff, to make sure that the session, holds. And the song I would say is Jungle Storm, Jungle Song. Reason why we get down, cause the jungle feeling better. Sitting outside and we rose that song was a song that I made to relieve the stress of everyone who is going through hard times. You listen to that song, it will definitely relax you and it will give you a head start as to what you're trying to get at. So yeah, it was a song that helped me, you know, it was able to puzzle me back together to say this is what you're supposed to be doing. I was able to cut through the noise. So yeah, that song for me, it's one of you know the hardest and still the best, one of the best on the list. I mean, I love all the songs,
The
but
best for you in the list.
I can't pick one, but if I have to, by all means, then I'll pick that one because it explains the mood that I was trying to achieve on that very day.
Yeah.
Subscribe to my channel and like, comment. And if you have any question, leave it there. If you want to criticize, do your thing.
I do that to get more from Big Stan and from Insight too.
Of course. And
Yes.
stay tuned. New music coming soon.